Imagine walking through a forest, and every tree could whisper its secrets. Imagine your houseplants, begging you for water. Imagine the grass beneath your feet, screaming in pain. For millions of years, plants have stood silent. But what if, tomorrow, they began to speak? Plants cover nearly every corner of our planet. They outnumber us. They feed us. They sustain the air we breathe. Yet, they remain voiceless. But in this thought experiment, they gain a voice. Not metaphorically, literally. Every leaf, root, and flower capable of speaking directly to humans. What would they say? How would we respond? And could humanity survive the truth? Today, we dive into a world where plants break their silence. A world that could change civilization forever. To understand this scenario, we must first imagine the mechanism. Suppose evolution or sudden mutation grants plants a universal ability, the power to form words humans can hear and comprehend. Maybe they release vibrations through their leaves. Maybe their cells act like vocal cords. Or perhaps our brains evolve a new frequency to interpret them. The method doesn't matter. What matters is this: communication between plants and humans becomes as clear as between two people. The first shock comes instantly. The lettuce on your plate begs for its life. The apple tree outside your window tells you it feels the weight of every plucked fruit. The long grass under your feet resists the blade of the mower. Plants, it turns out, are not passive. They sense danger. They respond to injury. Science already shows us that trees release chemical alarms when attacked, warning their neighbors. Crops adjust to stress. Roots compete silently beneath the soil. Now, all of this becomes audible. A chorus of voices, billions of plants, all speaking at once. Forests would roar with the chatter of roots and leaves. Farms would become places of bargaining, not harvesting. The human relationship with food would face its greatest moral test in history. For 10,000 years, humanity has cultivated plants without their consent. Agriculture allowed civilizations to rise, cities to form, and billions to be fed. But if plants could speak, the ethical foundation of our food system collapses. Killing a crop is no longer silent. It's a negotiation, or worse, an execution. We've wrestled with this before. When humans learned that animals feel pain, debates over farming, hunting, and ethics changed forever. Now, imagine that same debate. With every stalk of wheat. First, society would be paralyzed. People would avoid parks, forests, even grocery stores, unable to handle the constant cries of plants. Imagine the horror of eating salad while your food pleads with you. Farms would grind to a halt. If every plant could refuse harvest, the world would face immediate food shortages. Meat, too, depends on plants to feed livestock. Humanity would be trapped. Science would race to find answers. Could we engineer plants that choose to be eaten? Could we create synthetic food to replace them? Would we ignore their voices the way we often ignore each other? Over time, some balance may emerge. Perhaps plants would negotiate, offering fruit willingly in exchange for protection, water, and care. Perhaps humanity would finally treat forests not as resources, but as allies. Religions, philosophies, entire cultures would transform. A talking forest would not just be an ecosystem, it would be a living, conscious community. The sacredness of nature would no longer be metaphor. It would be undeniable that if plants could speak, they would reveal a world we've ignored. A world where life is not silent, where every leaf, every blade of grass, every towering tree has a voice. Would humanity listen? Or would we silence them to preserve our way of life? This is the question, not just of survival, but of morality. Because if tomorrow the forests began to whisper, would you dare to answer back? This was our journey into a world where plants could talk to humans. But what if the scenario were even stranger? What if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Join us next time as we uncover the science, the consequences, and the future of a world forever changed.